Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Savvy Zone. This is Rashid. Today we'll be taking a look at Windows 11 feature and how it's gonna look like. So I managed to get a copy from a different website and not from the official Microsoft site. As you all know, it is not yet launched. So this particular copy, since I have got it from another site and I also do not support piracy, and hence I will not be sharing the link. This is just for representation purpose only, and I have managed to install this copy via VMware's virtual machine. I'm using VMware workstation here. So let's get started and look at my initial impressions, guys. So as you can see here, starting with the layout itself, the wallpaper is pretty good, and it's very fresh as well, and it's not something like we have seen before. This is how the layout looks like. So when it comes to the theme, as you can see here, we do have limited background options here, but I'm assuming that Microsoft will add more themes in the official release copy. But yes, even with the limited options that we have here, the wallpaper looks beautiful. And similarly, you can change the theme as well to white mode or a dark mode. I have specifically chosen dark mode since it looks good here. Now coming to the layout here, as you can see, the taskbar has been redesigned and not like how it looks on the Windows 10 here. So starting with the first option here, the start button basically looks pretty similar. There is no change as such, but moving on, we do have a dedicated search button here. You can search for any app or a file that you have stored in your drive. And then moving on, we have multiple task window here. So Windows has managed to add a new desktop here. So as you can see, you can add as many windows as you want. And coming to the widgets, so the difference that you see here is basically that widgets are integrated within the taskbar, whereas on Windows 10 you would have a separate a widget showing up here. So the issue that I see here is that you cannot drag and drop any widget outside the widget window, and it will only give you the link to access that particular site, which is kind of a bummer. And then moving on, we have Explorer button as usual, and as you can see, the animation is very subtle here, and Microsoft has managed to add animation as and when you open or close the app. As you can see, there is a subtle animation happening there. And when it comes to the Windows, you can see that the edges are rounded here, whereas on the Windows 10 it was kind of pointed. Moving on, we have other apps, default apps, Windows apps, which is Microsoft Store, which pretty much looks the same, and the same goes for Microsoft Edge browser as well. And then what else do we have? So moving on to notification section, the options that you see here is pretty much similar. There is nothing different happening here whatsoever. The change that I can see from the very first look is that the icons seem to have been redesigned, as you can see. So like I said, the changes are very subtle, and it's not very major whatsoever. So coming to my PC window, you can see all these icons have been basically redesigned as well. The same goes for even the drives here. Now taking a look into how we can customize the look of the windows, you can see hovering over the minimize or maximize button gives you various options here, so you can arrange multiple windows the way you like. So I'm going to quickly choose the first option here. So clicking on it is gonna show me two windows side by side, as you can see here. Now what happens if I similarly try other options? Yes, it's going to allow me to accommodate as many windows as possible here. And then what else do we have? We have covered the animation part and how the layout looks like. So one more feature that Microsoft has added here is you can see Windows Terminal here. So Windows Terminal is nothing but new interface of the command prompt that we used to use, nothing different there, and you're going to have both Windows Terminal and the command prompt as well. So it's like a new interface here that's going on. And moving on to the backend features that almost all Windows versions have had is basically control panel, task manager, and programs in features, and device manager as well. So there are no changes observed here. As you can see, the task manager layout pretty much looks the same as before, no changes there. Then moving on to control panel here, so I'm gonna quickly search control panel. Here the only change that I could observe was the redesigned icons here, but if I change the look to small icons, everything else looks pretty similar, no change whatsoever. And going to the home section of the settings here, so Windows I. So this layout is also very similar to Windows 10. I did not see any change there. Now let's go to system, and one added feature that I could see is the HDR button or the HDR settings here. If I go on, it's asking me to customize the display settings here. So we'll have to wait and see how the official version looks like in terms of this particular feature. Now going to about section quickly. As I told you, this is the build number here that I managed to get from a specific site, and every other option pretty much looks the same. There is no difference whatsoever. Now moving on, what are the other changes that I have seen is Windows Sounds button. So Windows Sounds button is completely changed now. So even minor sound notifications such as volume, as you can see, it's not pretty audible. So those are the major changes that I was able to find out. So we have covered almost all the basic features. Now coming to compatibility of apps on Windows 11, I have installed Chrome and Microsoft Office as of now, and I did not see any issues there. So basically, from what I observed from my initial findings is that any Windows 10 native app is going to be compatible on Windows 11 as well, because of the fact that the changes aren't much in terms of the background software coding or in terms of compatibility. So it looks pretty much the same here. Now going on to Task Manager. So Task Manager also looks pretty similar. There is no change happening here as well. And one more thing that I have noticed here is on Windows 10, if you right click on the taskbar, you were able to have the option to quickly go to Task Manager here, but in this case you do not have that option. Instead you have taskbar settings. So clicking on it will give you various options here. You can customize the taskbar alignment to either left or center here. So yeah, Windows should have included the older options to quickly go to a Task Manager and other options here. So apart from that, there are no major changes as such. As I said, I have installed Office as well, so you can see there is no issues with regard to compatibility. So these are my initial impressions. I hope this video gives you an idea as to how the initial copy of Windows 11 looks like. We'll wait for the official release to see what are the major changes that are observed in the final version, guys. I hope this video was useful. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment with your feedback. I will see you in my next video.